Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Bug, but you can call me Lindy. I'm going to start recording a save that is inspired by the Forever World from Yasmin's Corner, along with Rosanna TXT, who just dropped this legacy recently, the Origins Legacy. The reason I wanted to start doing this, I had been wanting to play a challenge and get it up on the channel just because I love watching other people like Ginny Moo, obviously Rosanna TXT. I've been watching Yasmin's Corner. There's tons of people that I watch, and the Forever World concept, along with creating in a completely blank world original Sims with original backstories and all that, is just amazing to me. So I really wanted to start the channel with this because it's building our own world without any of the original townies living there, basically. So I'll post in I will post in the comments or in the description the video to Rosanna TXT so that you can get her notions that explain the rules and explains the challenge in general itself. So there's starting rules, there's gameplay rules, generational rules, career table so that you can only unlock certain careers at certain times. And then the unique thing about this one is every 7 days in your game, so every week, every sim week, you roll for a random event to happen, and you have to go through that event one way or another. You gotta figure out how to do it, whether it's using cheats to do it or some storytelling to do it. So, I made my 4 families. I was originally gonna do 5 because I wanted to do the Hot Tea Legacy Challenge by LX Dice. Elise. I don't know if there's a certain way to pronounce it. I'm really bad when it comes to names. So forgive me. I will put it in the description because it's amazing. I love watching her play it. She's great. But I'm gonna have to hold off because medicine I can't open up until one world is completely done. So I'm holding off on the Hot Tea Legacy until Willow Creek is almost completely filled up. And then I will start the Hot Tea Legacy because I believe it'll flow okay after that. I will give it another glance through though, just to make sure. So I do have my 4 founding families. They are all set up, and I'm going to start with a familiar name. We're going to jump into the Landgraab house. All right. So I'm actually re-recording my intro to the families because when I first originally recorded this, I had the screen in OBS cutting the top half off, so all you could see was the bodies. So let me jump into. Okay, so hopping into cast, we're going to show you the first founding family, which is the Landgraabs. Georgia and Garrett Landgraab are twins, and the younger siblings to Jeffrey Landgraab. I wanted to add some of the founding families' names into the origin legacy because I like to think of it makes sense then for the other townies to pop in because their family's there as well, if that makes sense. And then I can build my own story around my own characters without bringing in the original townies unless I decide to marry an original townie or so on. So their story is that they've been disowned because Georgia here is a little bit of a kleptomaniac and lost something very valuable to the family, and Garrett wouldn't give wouldn't give Georgia away. So the family just disowned them both, and they both moved to a town for a fresh start where nobody knew the Landgraab name. And they wanted to be pillars in the community. So with Garrett, I can see him being more the behind the scenes kind of guy. He's gloomy. He's the kind of guy that once you get to know him, you're best friends, but before that, he is in his own corner doing his own thing. Whereas Georgia's kind of the opposite. Georgia will talk to anybody, is very outgoing, basically wants to put Willow Creek on the map through social media influence. And I'm thinking she's going to be the mayor, but more so like the mayor as in the face of Willow Creek, where Garrett is going to be more of the behind the scenes, keeps the books going, so on. The one that does the actual work, Garrett. The one that's the face of it, Georgia. So that's kind of the storyline I'm going with them. So that is the Landgraab twins. I will put my notion, well, it's Rosanna TXT's notion, but I'm using the copy of her notion for this. I'll put it in the description or in my Sims tree, either way there, so that you can go through and read their stories. I've written out like 1 to 2 paragraphs for each character for their background stories. I just don't want to read it here because I get really tongue-tied when I try to read things to the camera. All right, so we're going to hop into the next family, which is going to be the Boxtree family. All right, so now we're hopping into the Boxtree family here with the eldest sibling. This is Emerson Boxtree. Now, Emerson basically raised the rest of her siblings after their parents died. So she didn't finish high school and she spent a lot of time being a mom. And now her younger siblings are older, at least old enough to take care of themselves, the youngest being a child. She wants to find her path in life, and she's always been really into dancing, and she's always been really cheerful. So in her mind, moving to this new town, she can make a name for herself and open a dance club, which will probably be like our first club or bar, and we'll make that her small business. And so Emerson here is basically the matriarch. She is adorable. I love her. She was one of my favorite Sims that I made for this challenge. And then we have her brother, Ruben. Ruben is more of a outdoorsy, self-assured, loves the environment kind of guy. And he encouraged Emerson to move out here to Willow Creek because it was more surrounded by nature, and he just wanted to get away from the city they were in because the city they were in wasn't a good city. There was a lot of violence happening, and he just wanted to be amongst the nature, amongst the trees, be able to go fishing, live off the land. And even though the rest of his siblings aren't really like that, he's more into the outdoorsy stuff than the rest of his siblings. They all moved and are like looking to find their own place in this city because there's a lot of areas in the city that, while there's a nature area, you can go to the next little island and be in a more populated area that has like things to do. That's probably the best way I can put that. Now, Roxanne Boxtree. She is our teenage queen. She is a genius and a geek. She's really into everything nerdy. I have her aspiration as the nerd brain. She wasn't sure about the move because she's really into technology. She's finding it hard being out somewhere that's not completely developed. There's a lot of land. There's not a lot of like events to go to that are surrounding technology, cosplay events and things like that. So she's struggling right now. So she spends her time streaming. That's what she does in order to feel comfortable, I guess is the best way to put it. And then the youngest of the Boxtrees is Elijah. Now, Elijah Boxtree is a very imaginative child, and I'm picturing him going towards maybe being an art prodigy. That's why I have his childhood aspiration, the artistic prodigy. I think he's going to end up being a painter, and he's going to end up painting a lot of Willow Creek's history, giving a lot of gifts that are very, crafty oriented. So basically, you got businesswoman Emerson, who wants to do a dance club. You've got Ruben, the fisherman, who wants to spend all of his time outside. You've got the tech geek sister, Roxanne, who wants to spend her time gaming inside. And then you have Elijah, who's just a very imaginative child and just loves his family and is just trying to find his way now in this new town. And we'll move on to the next family here in a moment. All right, so the next family we're going to jump into is the Feather family. The Feather family is made up of Dakota and his wife Hillary, their two children Brittany and Caden, along with their uncle, which is Hillary's brother Quentin. So Dakota and Hillary's story started in summer camp. They went to summer camp together every summer, and then when they were teenagers, they became camp counselors together. And then on the summer that they were both 18, Dakota proposed to Hillary because he's been madly in love with her forever. Now, Hillary has a passion for writing, so she wants to be a writer and she wants to make her mark on the world that way, but she's been struggling doing that in the town that they're in. It just always seems like there's a lot of chaos going on, and especially with her brother, like her brother gets into a lot of trouble and she just is overwhelmed and hasn't been able to write a thing. Well, Dakota got an offer from Georgia and Garrett, the Landgraabs, to come. They would provide him land, but to come and be the farmer of the town, because the Landgraabs themselves do not have a green thumb whatsoever. So they wanted to outsource that, and they heard through the grapevine about Dakota and his green thumb and how he would be beneficial to the new Willow Creek that's being set up. And Dakota was like, yeah, I would love this opportunity to run my own farm. And he agreed to it before talking to his wife. But when he brought it up to lovely, lovely Hillary here, all she could think about was how this would be beneficial for her, for the kids, just start fresh somewhere. Maybe she could get her juices flowing to become a author. And this is Hillary. I absolutely love Hillary. I think she's adorable too. To be fair, I love all the Sims that I'm showing you guys because I created them. So that's probably why I have such love for them. And then Quentin actually got into some trouble with a crumble bottom because he makes his living off of swindling the elderly ladies in order to make some money. Well, he got into it with a crumble bottom, and now he's hiding out in Willow Creek with his sister and his brother-in-law and trying to avoid getting into some kind of trouble that might end up leading to, his demise. He's got the chase by death trait, so I'm going to have some fun with that, I'm sure. He is kind of, in my mind, I'm picturing him being a little sleazy. He is really nice to his niece and nephew, but he's not the kind of guy that would offer to babysit for any reason. Like, he's going to be out trying to get a drink and get his next sugar mama. And then here is Brittany, the eldest of the Feather children. She's a child. She's a little geek. She very much looks like her father, except for the fact that she has her mom's eyes. And she's going to be a heartbreaker when she grows up. I think my goal is to have Brittany and Elijah date and become like an it couple as the legacy goes on. but that's just like in my mind. I'm like, oh, that would be great. I have like some pairs in my mind that I don't know if they'll work, but we'll see. I'm not like other simmers. Like I feel like I can't make my relationships work that I want them want to work for the life of me. But so yeah, she's just a little genius, a little whiz kid. She loves playing chess, and she just loves being with her family. She's kind of trying to learn a bit about gardening and learn a bit about writing, and trying to help Kaden figure out, all the things that the toddler needs to figure out, talking, numbers, and all that. And then we have the last of the Feather family. We have little baby Caden. Look at him. I gotta change his eyes. But the toddler and child's eyes change all the time. So I change them once they're a teenager because I know that they'll stay for the most part. But he's gonna actually have his dad's eyes. It just has been defaulting to purple because he obviously got his mother's hair. But originally, when I first made him, I gave him Dakota's eyes, mom's hair, and then I gave Brittany dad's hair, mom's eyes, to symbolize a little bit of both of them in each of them. Anyways, that was way too much explanation for I'm going to change his eyes eventually. So, Caden here, he's a little charmer and he's in everybody's business. And he gets very confused because he's used to his mom and dad. They don't really fight. They're actually really loving and spend a lot of time together. But then, like, when he is wandering around the house, he sees his uncle just kind of always in a grumpy mood and yelling into his phone and getting into arguments on his phone. But like, he can't really tell anybody because he can't talk yet about it. So that's kind of Caden. He's a little bit in everybody's business, but can't tell anybody whose business he's in. And I think he's going to be a little heartbreaker when he grows up. And if anybody has any ideas on future jobs, we'll take that into account, or we'll just roll and see what happens that way. And let me get to the last family, which is going to be my favorite family, because I wrote a Willow Creek Legacy Challenge specifically for this origin legacy. I'm obviously playtesting it because I'm the one doing it right now, but I will link it into the description. So let me get up into the Graves family. Minutes. So Celeste Graves is the founder for the Willow Creek Legacy Challenge. I wrote the Willow Creek Legacy Challenge because I wanted to have a challenge within this challenge that was completely base game for the most part. I believe everything that's needs to be done is base game, and the optional ones have some things that aren't base game, but you don't have to do them because they're optional. So I wanted to have a challenge within the challenge for one household because in my mind, this is the perfect forever world to bring in other legacy challenges because you're building the world and it gives it kind of a richer storyline, along with, hey, if I write a challenge for each world, then each world will at least have 10 families at one point that are from the same bloodline. She is Celeste Graves. I made her for the Willow Creek Legacy Challenge. Let me pull that up here. So I wrote this challenge. I was inspired by the Pac-Man challenge from Piece of Princess, the Forever World concept from Yasmin's Corner, and I wanted to integrate it into Rosanna TXT's challenge, the Origin Legacy Challenge. I do not consider myself an expert whatsoever when it comes to legacy challenges. This is the first one I wrote. It's very much being test played with me right now. So if there's anything that you find doesn't make sense, please feel free to let me know in the comments so that I can take a look at it and fix it. So you got your basic rules. You're going to start with your founder. So we're going to begin rags to riches style. And the founder has to build their wealth from the ground up. So an optional challenge is you continue the rags to riches theme for every generation. Heirs receive nothing but a plot of land, emphasizing the idea that struggle shapes character. Since the first generation had to struggle, why not every generation after that? And then you can do a color palette. I am very much someone who gives each sim like a color palette. Basically, they have their main color, and then you build a little bit around that. For the first legacy, it's going to be like a red, black, and like muted purple tones, is what I had envisioned. I have the lifespan set to normal. It gives gameplay play balance. I have it turned off now, where aging only happens if I'm in the household, not outside of the household, so that I can keep everybody kind of on the same age track. All heirs and spares must make homes in the charming world of Willow Creek. The romantic relationships are entirely up to you if your heir chooses to marry or cohabitate with a partner, unless specified by the storyline. And then obviously feel free to use any custom content, mods that you think fit, and create a sim objects and do whatever you want. You don't have to limit yourself to base game. I would suggest following the heart of the challenge where you don't use mods to make money. But if that's what you enjoy doing, that's what you enjoy doing. I wrote it as a rags to riches challenge, but it's a base game challenge. Feel free to create your own version of it if you'd like. Now, Celeste, this lovely lady here with her mafia mommy vibes, is Generation 1, The Haunted Tale. You and your twin share an unbreakable bond, especially after the tragic loss of your parents. Everything changed when a prank you pulled resulted in your twin's death. Overwhelmed by guilt, you left your hometown for Willow Creek, hoping for a fresh start. However, your twin's spirit follows you, haunting you in your new life and amplifying your guilt. As you struggle to cope, you become a disruptive presence in the community, tarnishing your family name. Convinced that your twin's haunting is the source of your troubles, you face a crucial choice. You may attempt to revive them, risking an unknown consequence, or will you find a way to sever their connection to this world and seek peace for you both? Your decision will shape the legacy in Willow Creek. So the whole challenge sprouted from this idea because I was like, what if I created a set of twins? Apparently I like twins because I have the Landgraab twins. But anyways, what if I create a set of twins and one of them's dead from the other twin is haunting her? And I originally had Celeste's twin sister, Sylvia, in the household. But then I felt like me keeping her in the household was a little unfair because then I was the one choosing Sylvia's actions. So now she is just haunting the lot because I have her gravestone on the lot and she is just haunting and breaking stuff as she wishes to mess with Celeste. And they do have a bad relationship. I cheated their relationship to be negative, which you'll see in their episode. So, for this challenge, Generation 1, The Haunted Tale, your traits are kleptomaniac, erratic, and grunch or loner. Kleptomaniac, grunch, or loner. Your career path is criminal. You're going to be in the boss branch. Your aspiration is public enemy. So, the objective is to create a founder alongside their ghostly twin, relocate to an empty lot with 0 simoleons in Willow Creek, begin with a negative relationship with your twin, maximize the criminal boss branch career, complete the public enemy aspiration, maximize the mischief, handiness, fitness, and charisma skill, and then one artistic skill of your choice, have at least one child, and then you either bring your twin back to the living or release their spirit, but this can only happen after your home is built and your heir is a teen. So you're going to be haunted for a hot minute. You must have a 2-story house with a pool by the time the generation is finished, and you need to get the carefree reward trait. And obviously, I put on each of these one of the reward traits so that I'm somebody who for the longest time didn't even realize what the reward traits were. And now that I know what they are, I utilize them so much when I play that it it's amazing what you can get done when you actually get some of the reward traits. So it was kind of my way of forcing everybody to look into the reward trait system. Now, the optional challenges for Generation 1. Generate income solely through theft and your chosen career path, which is what I've been doing with her. Like I said, this is the second time I'm recording this video because the other one, all the heads were cut off. So I wanted to re-record it. And then another optional challenge is complete the Sticky Fingers aspiration if you have it, and then complete the medals collection. I gave every generation a collection from base game to try to complete, just because I wanted to, in the optional section, because I wanted to challenge myself to see if I can complete them or not. Because I like having something to do in between skill building and work, especially when you're first starting out and you don't have a kid and you're kind of grinding. You want to go around collect things. And in my mind, the things that I collect that aren't medals, I'm going to use to replace the things I steal as Celeste. But yes, this is Celeste Graves, and you will see her twin sister in the video of the Graves family, but I can pull up their picture on the Notion because I did get a picture of them together. So this is Celeste in her winter outfit, and then this is Sylvia, her twin sister. Her twin sister is more of like an evil scientist, whereas Celeste is more like mob boss energy. Don't mess with her because she's going to be the one that takes you out. And I feel like I kind of wrote all the generations for the Willow Creek Legacy Challenge as slightly negative, but you could choose to change it for the most part. Like if you don't like the negative aspect other than like generation 1, and I think whatever the business generation is, those are the two that I would keep more evil, quote unquote. So yeah, no, feel free to let me know what you think of the challenge. It'll be linked below because it's finished now. And then yeah, this is Celeste. So those were the 4 founding families. I am not going to show you the world because it is vastly different than the first time I recorded this video. So sorry about that. But I hope you enjoy the videos to come. I will link everything that I can think of down below. And go check out Rosanna TXT's channel. Go check out Yasmin's Corners channel. Go check out Junie Moo's channel. She's doing the Very Veggie Legacy Challenge right now, and I'm absolutely obsessed with chartreuse. So feel free to give me your opinions and let me know some things you might want to see as we build this world. Bye, y'all.